strong people, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com, and today I am going to be talking about the next event coming up this weekend in Martinsville, Indiana, Giants Live North America. The top three generally from these contests qualify for World's Strongest Man 2020, and this is the only qualifier in North America, so this is a big deal. We have tons of athletes. We saw athletes such as Trey Mitchell qualifying from this show, and then this year make the finals at World's Strongest Man. And yeah, this is the best way for an American to break into World's Strongest Man, and even a couple international athletes as well. And this year the athletes include the aforementioned Trey Mitchell, Brian Benzel, Evan Singleton, Kevin Ferris. And we also have Max from Canada, Rob Kearney, who won it 2 years ago, who's looking to improve, Mark Felix from England, United Kingdom, whatever they call it now, Bobby Thompson, I believe he's also competing at the amateur, he won the amateur Arnold this year and is competing at the Pro Arnold in 2020, so definitely he has some big contests coming up. Wesley Claiborne, very underrated strongman. Andrew Clayton, a former 105 kilogram World's Strongest Man. Tim Coate and Eddie Williams of Australia. And now we're going to go through the events. The first event is a max axle, and these are fixed plates. So the bar does not rotate. Max axle is not contested that often at big time strongman shows. And I would say it would be hard to see anyone beating Rob Kearney in this lineup, or pretty much any lineup. I would take him for this. He posted a, 200 kilo, which is 440 pound axle clean and press. People say a jerk shouldn't count in strongman, but I tell those people, you're silly goose. You're a silly goose if you think like that. I think it's great that Rob actually uses technique, and I think an 80 kilogram world record was just beat. 80 kilogram men's weight class world record was just beaten in Australia by a weightlifter who had Olympic lifting technique. It's more efficient. It's what should be used, and I think more and more people are going to be learning to get it, and that's why someone like Rob, being one of the smaller guys, can compete, because he's technical, but he's also strong. Don't get it twisted. He went head-to-head and tied reps with Thor head-to-head at Worlds in a log for reps, and not a single one was jerked. So the world record is, I should have done my homework, 216, which is 471-ish. Correct me in the comments. I know you love to do that. I say these things wrong on purpose just to give you guys something to talk about. But 440, he's not too far off it. It just comes down to if he can get the clean. I think the conditions on the day really matter. I think it depends on, it's always been very hot. Sometimes it's somewhat humid. That does not do well for grip on an event where they got a mixed grip because it's so heavy, and the axle bar's thicker, and especially if it doesn't rotate, and just sliding on your chest a little bit. So I think if he can clean more than that weight, he'll get it. The American record is 461, 206 kilograms or so. And I think that's definitely going to be going down. But I think the real thing is if it's pushed, I think and depends on what jumps they take. I think Rob will get like a couple of kilograms over. There's going to be a log jam at a certain weight, and I think that's going to be around 398 to 420 pounds. It depends on if they're using kilo plates or what the weight of the implement is. But somewhere around there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get the weight. Then they're going to have another big jump, and most everyone's going to miss that. If a couple people can hit that weight and then get in between Rob and everyone else, that'll help a lot. Of course, anything could happen. There's plenty of people there's a couple people in here that are 200 kilogram pressers. It just depends on if they can clean the axle. But yeah, Kearney's the clear favorite in that event, and I think it's definitely possible that he gets a new American record and a new world record. But hopefully he's pushed a lot, and I think he really will be, and I think people are going to be surprised by some of the other, static lifters, like, people with great presses like Max from Canada. Benzel's very underrated presser, I feel. And pretty much everyone. Bobby Thompson's a static monster. Clayton, of course, also has a good jerk and has done over 400 plenty of times. I think he has the 105 kilogram world record. I guess I could check that on my own website. But yeah, I predict him to win that event. But the important thing as far as the whole contest going is how everyone, if there's a log jam for reps, which it's like, it doesn't matter if someone's a little stronger or not. If you all, if they all couldn't do that next, 10 kilogram jump, then they all get the same points. And if someone else gets above them, they're going to gain a lot of points on the pack. Then we go into the yoke, which is the arch yoke. They've been used for years by the old Super Series, and now they're at Core Fitness, and they're used pretty much every year here at Giants Live. I think it's 1,000 pounds down and back. And, Rob Kearney's pretty much never been beaten in a yoke walk except for last year when he went against Lawrence Chalet. So I'd say he's a pretty clear favorite for that. Eddie Williams is very good at moving events as well. I think, Trey's, he's pretty consistent with his moving event. Benzel, pretty much everyone here is good. It's just who depends on the day. But as far as the favorite for that event, I say it's Kearney. Then we do a car deadlift. I think Bobby Thompson, of course, Mark Felix, it's a front bar. Everyone else is going to be chasing him. Rob put up a very impressive performance at the recent Giants Live event. He looked very strong. What was it, the Wembley? Yeah, he had a new PR there. Almost just under 1,000? 970, 980. Of course, that's a normal deadlift. A fairly heavy, moderately heavy deadlift for reps, especially a car deadlift. Almost no one beats Mark Felix. He'll, it'll be a good display. He's always good for a couple events at shows like this, even being 87 years old. And I think, this is the events where people like, Eddie Williams, Max, they struggle a little bit more. Bobby Thompson's very good static lifter. Kearney's good. Benzel's good. Trey Mitchell looked pretty good at Worlds on the front bar car deadlift. Then we go to the farmers, which is down and back, and this is an important event for Rob. His grips looked improved. His foot speed's always good. It just depends on, you can have a slip up in the grip between doing the max axle. It's going to fatigue it a little bit, especially depending on how many attempts he takes. It wears out the grip a little bit. These farmers are fairly nasty ones from what I remember, unless they're using different farmers. It's a good chance for people like Eddie Williams. Kevin Ferris is very fast. Benzel's always quick. Evan Singleton's quick. Trey's pretty quick too. To make it up on this event. And then we go into the stones, and of course for Rob, it just depends on how high the stone platforms are. He had I think he had a cracked rib or some sort of rib injury last year, which affected him, but and he wasn't able to load it to an extension. I don't, to that high, it's pretty much above his head. I seen him load stones similar before, and I don't foresee it being a problem, but it is a factor because it did happen last year, and that's big points. Mark Felix is, of course, a beast at stones. Pretty much everyone here is a beast. As far as going for an overall, I think the favorite is Rob Kearney. I think Evan Singleton, Trey Mitchell, Brian Benzel, and Bobby Thompson. Pretty much, there's so many athletes in here that could go in the top three. It's just they're very evenly matched. It depends on who performs on the day, but I think the top three could be about 8 of these athletes. It could be anyway. But if I was to make a prediction, I think it's going to be Rob Kearney, Trey and either Singleton or Benzel. I think Wesley Claiborne could do very well and is completely underrated. He's just going to kind of be slow, like, nice and steady that whole time, and sometimes that's what it takes to win. Just nothing too flashy about Wes, but he's definitely, I'd say, the most underrated strongman in America. Andrew Clayton's always a tough contender. Eddie Williams is a super nice guy and very very fast at the moving events. It just depends on how he fares in the car deadlift and the max axle. With only being 5 events and 2 of them being very static, it's tough for some of the guys. Bobby Thompson's, I think he's trained like a madman. He's looked very good at shows. It really depends on whose day it is. This could be, anyone in the field, but I still think Rob Kearney is the clear favorite, with as long as no mishaps happen. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below. I'm Kalle Beck. Of course, you can get all of your strongman training needs, ebooks, programs, etc. at store.startingstrongman.com. And go to amazon.com/shop/startingstrongman before you buy anything on Amazon, so I can get 3% back on any purchase you make, so I can keep doing these videos in my garage. Thank you.